everybody, back to the podcast, I'm calling it Weekly Wins at the moment with Blayke. The third installment. We just had our team meeting. I'm trying to get little mini podcasts once a week with all the boys. Who do you think is going to be the hardest to get on?
Troy.
You reckon?
He's a busy man.
He's got like 50 odd podcasts in the bag though, when you think about it.
Yeah, true.
So it's probably Jacob.
Which one?
Pa.
Yeah.
Harris will be easy to get on, and I'll have to be like, we're done, bro. We're done.
Yeah.
So guys, I'm hoping to get little mini shows with like structured content with all the boys, which rather than the big long podcasts, I'm going to hopefully do those with guests from the industry. But this is Weekly Wins. Like number 3? We sort of did a couple with Vez. We'll have to get Vez on because he's the big daddy of this little sort of form, isn't he?
Yeah, and he's been busy. He's got some stuff going on as well, bro.
Yeah.
He's doing well, especially with that in between the ears concussion.
Yeah, I see he's been around everywhere. So shout out to Vez, our man. So we're going to get straight into it because I've got to get over to swimming and take the little ones from swimming. Might put Freddie under for a fair bit today because he's been waking me up, bro. I'll be like, bro, you're touching the bottom.
Teach the boy how to hold his breath.
Get under the water, kid. Yeah, he was up at like 3:30 this morning, man. Ended up in our bed. Useless. All right, Blayke, who wants to start? Weekly Wins.
I'll start.
Oh, you got one?
Yeah.
I got a couple of wins this week, but you go.
So my weekly wins come off the back of our goals for last week.
Yep.
I come back after having 4 days of no responsibilities really, and just focusing on a ride and getting to point A to point B. So I had a lot of computer work to do.
Yeah.
I had my ASCA, my strength and conditioning book that was due.
Yep.
And then I had 2 tests for uni. So I had a lot of computer work to do, and I got through them and got them done.
How'd you do it? Did you piece it together? Like I sort of mentioned last week to you, I was like, if it's a big task, you sort of have to break it into, I'm going to work on it for half an hour and come back to it, rather than like slaving away and getting distracted, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, so what I did was rather than the time, I did, I'm going to work through and get this bit done.
Yep.
So for the ASCA book, it was like programming of 4 days, 3 sessions a week.
That's, for those who don't know, that's the ASCA is the Australian Strength and Conditioning Association. So the boys are doing their level 1 accreditation, and you've got like a workbook.
Yeah.
So they did their course a couple of months back, and they've got to do so many hours of coaching, which the boys are already doing, and then you've got to work through the workbook, which is sort of time consuming and a little bit monotonous and a little bit, I don't know, it's hard to understand what they're asking you in some of those things because you don't really have the context, and you're just like, do I just write whatever I want? And you kind of do.
Yeah.
Kind of do just write whatever you want.
I feel like it was mainly, they literally just wanted to see if you could write programming and have progression and regression in it.
Yeah. The level 2 book, man, was hectic.
Yeah.
It was harder than some uni subjects. Like it was as much work as I'd put into a uni semester, I put into that book. And then they sent it back to me and were like, we need you to change this shit.
But that's good because you want it to be quality. You know, you want the cert
to make sense.
No, I shouldn't say the cert. The accreditation.
Yeah.
To be valuable in the sense that when you do see a coach that is level 1, level 2, or level 3, it's like, oh, this guy has worked for this and knows his shit.
100%, and that's it's definitely a problem in the industry with the quick fire fitness cert 3 and 4.
Yeah.
They get churned out pretty quickly, and it's a business in itself, which has watered down the industry and means there's a lot of turnover. But I think doing these extra courses really helps out and sets you guys apart and sort of opens your eyes to a new way of thinking that you might not have, or I wouldn't say that, maybe just more a different knowledge base maybe. Yeah.
So that was my wins. Computer work, it's one of the things I struggle with. I get into my pants.
Yep.
I hate sitting in front of the computer, but I got it done. So workbook and 2 tests, I'm pretty happy with that and feel pretty confident with the test too.
And that was your struggle last week.
That was my
He's
struggle.
turned a struggle into the win.
That's how
Weekly wins, man.
That's how we do it.
For the W. All right.
How was yours?
My win is the first 3 exercises of my strength program at the moment. I'm not including my sled pushing and pulling. That's a bit of a win as well. But kettlebell swings, push-ups, and pull-ups are the first. Like they're my main movements really at the moment. I do need to bring in I want to bring in a single leg squat variation, which is probably just going to be a Bulgarian split squat. I need to start bringing that in.
I was going to say, you can't go past Bulgarian.
I love a Bulgarian.
It's so good.
I love a Bulgarian. So I might even I'll play around with those, whether I go heel up, heel down, or flat foot. So doing a bit of the knees over toes guys protocol and some of the exercises. I know on his Bulgarian split squat he calls it a ass to grass split squat. He actually comes off his front foot. The heel comes up off, so you're really going like knee way out in front, but you lose a bit of stability there. Anyway, I haven't been doing those yet, but I'm thinking of bringing them in. I've been doing kettlebell swings. So I started this little program probably 4 weeks ago, the week after the little shutdown. And I started with a 24 or a 20 kilo kettlebell, doing 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off, times 8 rounds. So that's staying as is. And I've worked my way up from that 20 to 24 to 28 to 32. I'm now at the 36 kilo. So I've just been going like a couple of sessions on each kettlebell. It's a good thing about kettlebells. Like if you can't jump, if you shouldn't jump, you can't jump with the 4 kilo increments. So it's like it's either time or it's not. Yeah. And it's like, nah, pay your dues. You got to stay there, whether it be 16, 20, 24, that sort of thing. So I've worked my way up. My next session, probably tomorrow, I'll probably go to 40. And then there is a big jump after that because we don't have a 44, straight to the 48. So the goal, this is one of my goals, I'm jumping ahead. One of my goals is to be doing, the 48 kilo swings, 30 on, 30 off, 8 rounds. So that, my win is going from 20 up to 36, up to 40 on that.
Getting that progression, man. So it's just, a couple of sessions, and when I feel like, obviously I started a little bit below my threshold, which is advisable for any sort of program. You don't want to go to your ceiling straight away, because then what the fuck are you doing the next session? But that was a big win. The next win is pull-ups and push-ups. I'm doing as an EMOM, every minute on the minute. So my session sort of looks like little blocks. You could almost call them like little workouts in themselves. So I set the timer, 30 on, 30 off, do my 8 rounds of swings. I set the timer for 5 minutes, and I started with 10 push-ups every minute on the minute. So you're doing 50 push-ups across 5 minutes. Proper push-ups as well. I feel like, when you say 50 push-ups, people are like, knock out 50 straight up. But it's like, chest to ground.
Yeah, it's like full chest to ground, nice and controlled. And it was actually pretty tough. Like 10 on the minute, probably doing them in like 15-ish seconds, resting for 45 and going again. And I built that up to 11 to 12. On the weekend, I felt I could probably go to 13 on the next session. So the goal for that, another goal, jumping ahead again, is to get to 20. The goal will be 5 sets of 20 every minute on the minute. So 20 push-ups is going to start taking you like 30 odd seconds. So you're getting fuck all rest because you're going again on the next minute.
And you're moving pretty quickly through these push-ups too.
Yeah, so obviously the stronger you get, the longer the set becomes, the less rest you get. So the progression it's quite a big deal. Like adding in that extra rep or that extra rep or two doesn't seem like much. Oh, you're only doing like 10 extra push-ups if you're doing, or 5 extra push-ups if you add one. But it's the fact that you get less rest now, so it's sort of compounded.
Which is massive.
So I feel like if you can do 5 sets of 20 every minute on the minute for 5 minutes, man, that's gone. And then I'll probably go back to 10 and start adding some weight, but then you got to fuck around a little bit.
Or even just do like the cadence push-ups.
Some tempo. Yeah, that's true. Or maybe even like feet elevated, start going that way. And then with the pull-ups, I started with 5s. Again, like well within myself. But still pretty tough, man. 5 pull-ups every minute on the minute, like strict pull-ups. Like it's only 25 pull-ups, which isn't heaps. And then I've gone to 6, and I'm probably ready to start to go to 7. The goal for that is 10. 5 sets of 10 every minute on the minute. That's I feel like that's quite far away. Like I'm at 7s, which doesn't seem far away, but it is when it comes to pull-ups, because you just get to that point where you're done.
You get heavy real quick.
Yeah. So that's a bit of my wins, is just chipping away and seeing progression through those 3 main lifts with my strength program. So that's my wins and sort of some of my goals sorted. What's your struggles? Let's move on to struggles.
So this week I had a deload week, or an active recovery week.
Yep.
My training didn't lift at all. I did one couple of bicep curls midweek.
Oh, be rude not to, will it, right?
Yeah. So I swam, did a couple of Ks in the pool, and then I've just been doing a bit of boxing. So it was an active recovery week. I was letting everything just...
Oh yeah. I saw you moving around.
Yeah, we're getting there.
I saw you moving around, my man.
But my struggle was that, reflecting on it, I didn't use it as best as I could.
The recovery
week,
you mean?
Recovery week, yeah. In the sense that I moved around a little bit, went and got a rub, went to the physio.
Oh, a rub?
Yeah.
Ooh.
That's good too.
Yeah?
Oh yeah. But I missed a key ingredient, and that was mobility. I didn't do any mobility work. And reflecting on it, I was like, damn, I didn't do the
There's a bit of stretching going on in here now with Jacob, a bit of a back tweak. He's sort of upped his game stretching wise.
It's good to see.
Yeah.
So, this is going to go into my goals, is that my goal for this week is to, once every day, a stretching session. Now, I'm not putting a time on it just as of yet, but it's work on some mobility stuff.
What sort of stuff are you focused on? Normally it's sort of hamstrings, groin area is like the area that gets going.
Yeah, just simple, as you said, hamstrings, groins, lats, shoulders, eventually.
Bit of everything.
Bit of everything.
You got a routine you're thinking of?
Yeah, I got one, similar one that we used to do at rugby. I want to be able to, get that nice front rack position as well, wrist mobility. Also going back and revising or refreshing my prehab stuff for my leg. Ankle mobility is massive, that I've kind of, now that I'm up and about, I've kind of gone away from it, and I feel like I need to come back and revisit it.
Get that. I know we don't have an out-and-out slant board, but get the slant board. You know how I've been putting the blocks up. I did the Jefferson curls. I had like my toes elevated. Get some of that stuff happening, man, for that ankle. That's sort of a lot of the knees over toes stuff uses a slant board. I think it'll be pretty beneficial because you can just jump on there and you're automatically getting range through your ankle, because your toes are elevated straight away, rather than having to be into a calf stretch or doing like a band distraction with the rack and that sort of stuff. Just stand on it. I put it on the back of the bench press, the little spotters platform. So I just put it's like a deadlift block, guys. Just a couple of bits of plywood with a bit of rubber each side, homemade job, and just lean it up against something. I leant it up on like the half roller so I could do my Jeffersons, just so I got that clearance. Same sort of thing, you can just jack it up and just stand on it, try and get your heel to the ground, do a few calf raises as well. Be perfect for it, man.
So yeah, definitely. So my mobility, that's going into my goals. And another goal, something new.
We haven't got to goals yet.
Well, you've kind of...
but it makes sense. Are you just bringing...
So in and out of it. It makes sense. We're flowing.
Okay, you're flowing.
We're flowing.
You're flowing. All good.
I want to do a little bit of meditation this week.
Ooh.
I've tried it once before because you were telling me about it. Last time I was just too focused on the person's voice, and I was like, I wonder what this person looks like. I was just thinking, like, So I'm going to say, let's say three meditation sessions this week. I'm going to sit there and try.
What are you going to do? Like, how are you going to go about it? Are you going to go get an app? Are you going to just go YouTube? What are you going to do?
This is where you can come into it. How did you go?
When I started, I used the Headspace app, which is kind of like a mental health app, but it didn't come from like that, like you've got problems angle. It was just, I can't even remember what it really talked about, but it's just a guy just chilling and sort of tells you to calm down a little bit. But I stopped doing it because I just fall asleep, which is kind of alright, like I suppose, but that's not meditating, that's having a nap. There's a fucking difference.
The other one is Insight Timer, which Sarah Jarvis, shout out Sarah, one of our long-term members, she got me onto, which is, it's like Netflix, man, there's too much choice on it. It's all free. I think you can pay for stuff within it, but Insight Timer, and there's all different ones, man. Like, there's too many, I can't pick one. Yeah, as I look into it, balancing your energy centers, chakras, but it's a great app, man. Insight Timer. The Headspace one, you get like 10 free. That's all, like I've done, sort of worked my way through that. I might have paid for it.
How long do these go for?
They're like 15 minutes.
Yeah, that's what I reckon. That'll be my.
The other thing you could do, and it's not quite meditation, is like breathwork stuff.
Yeah.
Like I've been using the State app when like it's part of my morning routine if I ever get to fucking do it. To do just some breathing. That's at like 3, 4, 5 minutes. But I'd go Headspace now.
Yeah.
I'd go on the Headspace, and then just because it's like these are 10, start with number 1. So it's telling like that's the one you do.
Yeah.
Insight Timer, like you got too much choice. You're like,
Yeah.
oh, what do I like? You know when you go on Netflix, you can't find something.
Yeah, you start fizzing out. You're like, fuck, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm doing now.
Yeah. So Insight Timer is a good one, man, but there's too much on there.
Yeah,
So
we'll go Headspace. Keep it simple.
All right, cool. So is that your struggle? No, that was your
That's
goal.
my goal. Yeah.
Do you have another one?
Nah.
Okay.
Oh, well, actually, yeah.
Okay.
Just rip in.
Fuck
I've
you,
had
man.
a deload week. I'm itching.
Time to go. My
Okay.
struggle for last week. Now, last week was good. Last week was real good. Like picking a struggle, it's kind of been a struggle. I don't want to come on here and be like, the fucking baby's not sleeping every week.
Yeah.
So I'm not like, even though I just did. The struggle would probably be struggle to get out to Jarrahdale for my long run, which was a little bit disappointing. I had 25 planned, and the struggle was because I sort of had work to do. I couldn't just leave the gym at 7 o'clock and be there at 8 and it's nice and cool and go for a run in the forest. It was like 10, I would have been there about like 10:30, started to run sort of, quarter to 11. It was a little bit hotter, I had shit to do. So that was a little bit of a struggle, but I feel like I didn't sacrifice, I substituted it. I was like, I'll just do 10Ks. So I still got 10 done, not quite 25, but I got 10 done just around the house, just in Golden Bay, Singleton, through the streets there. It's actually a really good run, one of my fastest 10Ks recently without sort of pushing too hard. So whilst it was a struggle, because I couldn't get out there, what would you say? I adapted.
Yeah.
Yeah, I adapted.
Would that be more like Australian time management?
Not really. It's just thinking, like, I'd say I just didn't remember that I had clients booked in. So at the start of the week, I thought I'd be free on Friday morning, and then on Thursday, I'm like, I'm not free tomorrow. To be fair, I could have still gone out there, but then I would have been chasing my tail, trying to get dinner cooked, trying to like do a little bit of cleaning up in the house, that sort of stuff. So whilst there's a struggle and like a little bit of a time management thing, it's not a big deal. And I'm glad that I sort of adapted. In the past, I would have been like annoyed, and I would have been running at like fuck off o'clock that night to try and get the same amount of Ks in. I was just like, I'll just do 10, I'm happy with that. I still got 30 Ks run last week, and a 5.5 hour ride as well. So sort of like call it 35 Ks ish of work, which I'm happy with.
Yeah.
I want to try and push it to like 40, 45. That's what it would have been, but we'll see how this week goes, man. So I'm going to start blocking out Friday mornings, basically.
Yeah.
A couple of clients in the morning, then I'm out of here, off to the hills.
No more clients. Friday morning.
Yeah, hard problems to have, eh? Yeah, look at me.
Yeah.
Nah, it's normally just like my Tuesdays and Thursdays have been a bit busier lately, and my Fridays haven't been.
It's a good problem to have, though.
Oh fuck yeah! And that's like I said, I had a great week. Like that's me trying to find a struggle. I don't want to come in here and just blame the kid every fucking Monday. We don't want to do that, even though I could.
Especially your training, it's like it's different training sessions. Like it's one thing I noticed is like with the ride and that it's like it's not your sessions aren't 45 minutes. Like you want to run 20 odd Ks, like you're out there for 2 hours.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard.
So I've got to cook dinner. I want to do this. I got some other stuff to do. Like I'm not going to go run for 2.5. So the run would have taken 2.5 hours, and then it's like 15 minutes fucking around, half an hour fucking around again afterwards. You're out there all day. So you got to be out there like pretty early if you want to get anything else done. But yeah, last week was a good week, man. I was cruisy, felt great. Like just everything was rocking and rolling. Yeah. That was my struggle. We've both gone into a few goals, haven't we?
Yeah.
I've got a little bit of time here. Any other goals for you, man, for this week?
So going back to, obviously I'm doing that a little different with meditation and that, and mobility. A goal and touching on my training now, going back into it. My goal for this week would just be to train smart. So in the sense of how you spoke about the kettlebells, not starting at that threshold straight away.
Yep.
Although I'm itching to bits, you're going to see me doing a lot more running.
Okay. Yeah, I saw you on the treadie on Instagram last night.
Yeah. So it's more of like, I know what I have in me, but it's like, just start off nice and easy.
Yeah.
And then work your way.
I tell that to everyone when they start new programs. It's like, don't go to your ceiling straight away. You see them like week 2 and I'm like, they don't have another rep in that set on a main lift. I'm like, hey, too heavy, too soon. Ease yourself back.
I think it's one of like the biggest things that we do as coaches is just that pulling people back sometimes. And just being like, hey,
saving them from themselves.
Yeah, it's week 2. Like, think about week 3.
Yeah, so like one of the programs that I have, SF 101, that I've run so many people through, like it's the best program I've ever written. I haven't written a better one since. Hopefully I will, but I think it's gun. It starts off and people are like, oh, it's a bit light, and I'm like, it's all right, trust me. And then they do their first round of it, which is only 5 weeks, man. And then they blitz their testing. And you know what that help get nice. They're juiced up, bro. They're keen for the next round. And they're, let's run this again. And then the next round, so now they have a few numbers. They know sort of where they're at. We use like estimated rep maxes, all that sort of stuff. Like I said, the program just sort of feeds itself. And then the next time they run it, they're a little bit closer to their ceiling. And they're like, oh, okay, now I'm starting to know about it. And that's 6 weeks in. It's perfect. So they've run it for 5 weeks. In the 5th week they test, they kick all these goals with their testing because they're like, they've stayed within their threshold. And then they go, oh shit, week 6 and now things are starting to get closer to their ceiling because they've actually tested and they really know where they're at. And then it just like feeds itself in it spurs them on again after running it for more PBs. But man, you go to your ceiling week 1. What are you doing in week 2? You can't just try harder.
Exactly.
Trying harder might work for a week, but the next week you can't try harder again.
Yeah, you're gonna plateau somewhere. So it's gonna be quick.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll start running, start off nice and light, and then we'll build from this week. I'm looking forward to it.
Yep. So my goal for this week and one for this year is to try and get more people out of their comfort zone. So Eagle Bay Adventure Race has just opened up. Last year I did it by myself, the whole thing, and I sort of want to do it. I sort of want to do it with a team, but part of me wants to do it myself again, all by myself. But like I asked my brother-in-law, he's into his mountain biking, and I was like, "Are you home for this?" He works away. I was like, "Are you home for this, man? You'd be gun to do like the mountain bike." And I'd probably be looking at someone to do the swim, and then I would do the paddle and run. Kind of sucks because I'm shit at paddling. And then it's paddle then run in that order, so I'd have to do like the whole second half of it. So I'd sort of let the team down, to be fair, in terms of like how the team would go, because I'm not very good at paddling. But I feel like it would be a great chance to just experience something different. Like I'm quite, I wouldn't say selfish with some of my endeavours. I like to be out there in my own company and do a lot of thinking and all that sort of stuff when I get out and do these, longer training sessions and races and stuff like that. But I think I want to get a team together for Eagle Bay.
Would you not make your brother-in-law do the swim then? So it's 2 of us. So you got 2 legs each.
2 legs each maybe, but I feel like we could get someone to do the swim. And it's only a 2K swim. Like one of the swimmers wouldn't be a big deal for them. Get one of the swimmers to do the 2K swim.
Then you're being fun.
Yeah, we'll be doing well, man. Because Jay's pretty good on a mountain bike, man, by the look of it. Checking out his Strava, and he's done a few races on those similar courses, maybe even the same course in Dunsborough. And he's done alright with it. He's not afraid to send it, that sort of stuff. I just think it'd be great. One of my goals last year, when we started this year, I think we sort of said, our goals, and one of them for me was to try and help more people get out of their comfort zone. So for me, it would probably be out of my comfort zone as well, like competing in a team with this sort of stuff. So I think I'm going to ask around and see who's keen. Maybe Duds wants to do the run. I might get stuck with just the swim and paddle. I assume I'm going to do the paddle because I'm the one with the boat. Not everyone has a fucking kayak or a surf ski. I'd rather do the other 3, to be fair. It's just the logistics of having a boat and everything as well. But yeah, that's a big goal for me.
So is that a goal this week to
recruit? To start to recruit and figure it out. I know even Scotty Brown, I think, has done a fair bit of mountain biking. So it might be him if it's not Jay, my brother-in-law. Maybe one of the swimmers wants to do the swim. Like, it's not till November. Maybe you or Dylan wants to do the swim.
Yeah.
Who knows? It's only 2Ks.
Yeah.
I only got a couple of swims in last time when I did it, so. So the goal would be to do that and fill it and get a team together, and then same with True Grit. True Grit's coming up as well, obstacle course race. That lends itself to getting a team together a lot easier because it's like we're all doing the same thing together. So we're going to do that. I think there's a handful that have already signed up. I didn't mention it in our team meeting just before, but I want all the coaches to get around it. Should be getting involved in it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my goals for this week. Any other goals for you, bro?
No, we'll keep it there.
Keep it there? Save it for next week?
Yeah, mobility. What have we got? Mobility, meditation, and a good first week of training.
We'll try and hold each other accountable.
Yeah.
Alright, so on Wednesday you say who's doing this race. Yeah, and I'll say how many sessions mobility you done. Alright, sweet. Guys, if you've listened this far, or if you're watching on the old YouTube, we've started to put videos up on YouTube. Once I figured it out, the first one took me forever, bro. I exported it like 10 times. Do all the sharing stuff, but we want to try and make this a little bit more interactive. So we want to know about your weekly wins. We want to know about your struggles. We want to know about your weekly goals. They don't have to be huge goals. They don't have to be, in a year I want to run a marathon. It might just be like this week I want to do my 3 training sessions, or, my win from last week was I did do 3 training sessions. So send them in. When we ask those questions on Instagram, make sure you get around them and interact with the content. I want to try and make this a little bit more interactive with these sort of longer, with these sort of shorter style, sessions, podcasts that we're doing. So there it is, guys. That will be episode 65, I think. Fuck knows. Whatever it is, make sure you do all the liking, subscribing, commenting, thumbs upping. Fuck. What else? All that shit.
Tagging.
All that. All right. Till next Monday.